everyone, I'm JosieWose and today we're going to be reading a story from one of my favourite childhood authors, Shirley Barber's Spellbound, a fairy tale romance. I just love this story and I hope you like it too. Once upon a time, a tribe of fairy people lived by a sparkling stream. Their little houses were built among mossy boulders, half hidden by drooping ferns. The fairy king and queen lived with their 2 daughters in a palace made of leaves and petals, and with vine-clad balconies overlooking the water. Princess Rowena was dark-eyed and raven-haired, and little Lisette was the fairest of all the golden fairies. But Princess Lisette was so sweet-natured and so lovely to look upon that Princess Rowena, though equally beautiful, became troubled by envy and deeply unhappy. The king was kept busy with the affairs of his kingdom, and the queen by her younger children, so neither noticed their daughter's unhappiness. Princess Rowena was some years older than Princess Lisette and had helped to care for her as a child. But as the little golden fairy grew into a beautiful young girl, so too did the envy grow in her elder sister. Princess Rowena had found she was able to cast spells, which was a rare and valued gift among her people. She knew she would never misuse her gift to harm others, but gradually her envy overcame her better feelings. She ordered a golden armlet to be made, and as the jewels were set in it, she imbued it with a powerful spell. One evening, Rowena gave her sister the magic armlet. Lisette exclaimed with delight as its jewels sparkled in the lamplight. "I shall always wear it, dear Rowena," she promised as she slid it upon her arm. "It is so sweet of you, but then you have always been such a kind sister to me." Rowena went to stand for a while on the balcony and gazed down at the moonlit water. She knew that while her beautiful sister was bound by the spell in the armlet, she would become tired and unable to fly as a fairy should. The envy within her was satisfied, but her heart was heavy, for she knew she had done a great wrong. Now, in a neighbouring kingdom, 2 handsome princes were bidding farewell to their father and mother in an airy palace suspended between pink and white foxglove spires. They were about to set out on a journey to find 2 fairy brides. "Choose wisely," commanded King Avon. "They must be of royal blood and beautiful, if possible, for the sake of our people." "And sweet-natured," put in Queen Belle, "so that I may find it easy to love them." "Healthy and strong," continued the king, "for they must fly with you and help you to care for the fairy people in your kingdom. Remember, Burnett, this kingdom among the foxgloves shall be yours one day, and you, Trefoil, shall have the meadow-sweet realm on the banks of the stream." The princes flew off, together with several servants carrying provisions for the journey. Prince Burnett had heard that 2 beautiful princesses lived downstream, and a honeybee told him where to find them. "They live downstream among the ferns," he buzzed. "I see them when I fly down for a drink of water." At nightfall, the princes arrived at King Azola's palace. A fanfare of honeysuckle trumpets announced them. King Azola and Queen Bryony welcomed them and introduced their daughters. Young Prince Trefoil had no sooner set eyes upon the golden-haired Princess Lizette that his heart was hers forever, while Prince Burnett fell quickly in love with the raven-haired Rowena. Later, Prince Burnett said to his brother, "I would look no further for my bride than Princess Rowena, except that I feel something is wrong here. There is a strange power in the elder sister, and a strange weakness in the other. Perhaps I should look elsewhere for my bride. But I have found mine," declared Prince Trefoil. "I shall ask Princess Lizette to be my bride." The next day, Prince Trefoil found Lizette walking among the violets and gently asked her to marry him. Lizette hung her golden head sadly. "Alas, dear prince," she sighed, "I don't know why, but I have become too weak to fly. I cannot be your bride, as I would be unable to work alongside you in your kingdom." Prince Trefoil stood a while in serious thought, then came to a decision. "Sweet princess, you are the only one for me. Tomorrow I shall tell my parents that I must give up my kingdom. It is true that a prince must marry a princess who is able to fly, but an ordinary fairy may marry his true love, whether she can fly or not." Then he flew away to ask her father for her hand in marriage. Once he was out of sight, Princess Lizette shed bitter tears. "I cannot let my dear prince ruin his life for me," she sobbed. "I shall go far away, where he can't find me. Then perhaps he will forget me and marry another fairy who can fly." She walked out over the floating leaves of water plants and stepped into a fallen leaf. She pushed it into the middle of the stream, where the fast-flowing current carried her swiftly down the valley. Meanwhile, King Azola and the two princes spent much time in anxious talk. The king praised Trefoil for the strength of his love, but said he must not give up his kingdom without consulting his parents. Suddenly, word came that Princess Lizette was missing. They all joined in the search for her, but she was nowhere to be found. After several days of searching, all hope of finding her was gone, but the heartbroken Prince Trefoil announced he would keep looking until he found her. Nothing his brother or the king and queen said could make him change his mind, and he flew away alone, down the valley into wild regions where no fairies had ventured before. Later, Prince Burnett sought out Princess Rowena and found her sitting among the mossy boulders, gazing in deep sadness at the sparkling water. "Princess Rowena," he said gravely, "I want you to tell me the truth. You are the cause of your sister's troubles, are you not?" "You know?" faltered the princess, raising her dark, tear-filled eyes to him. "I guessed," replied Burnett. "Why not tell me everything? Perhaps I can help you." It was a great relief for Rowena to confess what she had done. "My envy was like an illness," she said, her cheeks wet with tears. "I used my gift for evil instead of good. I ruined Lizette's life, and now I have ruined my life too." "Oh, Rowena," said Prince Burnett gently, "I can see you are truly sorry for what you have done. Let us hope that my brother Trefoil is able to find your sister and bring her home safely to us all." Princess Lizette had been carried a long way downstream, and soon her leaf boat began to sink. She managed to struggle ashore and found herself in a sheltered inlet. Here she rested in the place of tangled vines. which were weighed down with ripe berries upon which she fed. Many tiny froglets who lived among the reeds came shyly out to talk to her, and as the days passed they became her little friends. They told her it was a good place to stay, and then that there was only one danger. Sometimes a dragon would rise from the water to snap at flies and froglets if he could catch them. Perhaps he might even eat a fairy, said one froglet. If he should come, you must run away and hide as we do. The days slipped by, and then one warm sunny afternoon the princess was sitting near the water with her tiny friends when suddenly Prince Trefoil flew down and landed before her. "At last I have found you!" he cried joyfully. The princess, at first startled and then delighted to see him, was about to run into his arms when a huge dragon rose in a great rush of spray from the stream and lunged forwards. The froglets leapt away in all directions. "Run, Lisette!" yelled the prince as he drew his sword to protect her, but the dragon's long tail swept round and knocked him to the ground. Lisette did not flee. She saw the dragon bend its neck and look down at the prince, and she thought it was about to devour him. She had no weapon to hand and no stones to throw, so she pulled off the magic armlet and flung it at the dragon's head. The spinning armlet flashed in the sunlight, and the dragon snapped at it and swallowed it whole. Then its magic spell began to work and sapped him of his strength. He fell back into the stream and sank slowly into its depths, never to return. The dragon's claw had wounded Prince Trefoil, but Princess Lisette made bandages of cobwebs and healing salves from streamside herbs. As he regained his strength, so too did she recover hers, and she soon found that she could fly once more. At last the day came for them to say goodbye to their froglet friends, and together they flew up the valley to the fern kingdom of King Azola. What cheers and rejoicing took place when they arrived! A huge feast was prepared to welcome them, and there it was announced that Princess Rowena would marry Prince Burnett, while Princess Lisette would marry her beloved Trefoil. In a moment of quiet, Rowena spoke sorrowfully to her sister of her wrongdoing, and begged her for her forgiveness. Lisette lovingly forgave her, and together the two couples planned happily for their wedding. A double wedding took place, which was of such magnificence that no one in the entire valley ever forgot it. Everyone in the Fern Kingdom was invited, from the whole royal family through to the humblest mouse and honeybee. The fairy couples flew away to their new homes among the foxgloves and meadowsweet. Princess Rowena only used her gift for the good of others, so the fairy folk lived happily ever after. And the dragon who had swallowed the armlet lay spellbound at the bottom of the stream, never to frighten the froglets again. I just love all the illustrations by Shirley Barber in this story. But thanks for watching with me, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to my channel. I'm JosieWose, and see you next time.